Hi, everyone. My name is Savannah, and I am on the customer success team here at Sendible. We are so glad that you're here to join us for our weekly deep dive webinar. Again, I'm Savannah from Success, and we will have Sarah from our support team going to be joining us later. And we are diving into the topic of cues, which I am super pumped about. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. You can see that Sarah has just jumped in the chat. If you guys have any questions around the cues section of the dashboard, please feel free to throw them into the questions tab. That's just to the right of the chat box. And we do ask that you try and keep those relevant to cues so that we can make sure that we get through all of them. Awesome. So if you guys have joined us before, you know that we like to start with an icebreaker. So the icebreaker for today is, if you could have any animal for a pet, that could be domesticated or not, what would you pick? Now, mine is a quokka, which is that adorable smiling animal from Australia. I would just 100% love to own one. So that would be my ideal pet. What about you guys? Ooh, panda, meerkat. These look awesome. Koala bear, monkey. Oh, so many good things. Awesome. Well, I am going to share my screen. All right, let's just make sure that everybody can see that. Perfect. Okay, just remember, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in that questions box. All right, so right now I'm in the dashboard and I am pulled into my priority inbox. So if you're looking for where to find cues, you're going to be able to select engage and go down to the queued section of the dashboard, and that's in your outbox. Now, just to kind of help you understand, the queues are a different way of scheduling posts to go out at a certain time. So I'll click on queued. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through just a few steps of how to create a new queue, how to do a bulk import, as well as kind of how to arrange your queues. All right, so we're going to start with new queue right here, this little orange button. And I'm going to decide what I want to name it. So I'm going to call this one my staff spotlight, because I want to highlight my staff a few times a week. I want to make sure that my social media audience is really getting to know our team. I think that's really important. So the next option that I have is to recycle messages, and that's on or off. Now, my recommendation is that you want to provide value to your customers when creating content. So if you have recycle messages on, you'll want to make sure that you have enough new content being added so that those messages are not getting old. I'm going to go ahead and leave them off, and if at a later date I decide that I do want to start recycling some of those old staff spotlights, I can do so. Next, I have the contributor line. Now, this is a place where I can add any other user on my account to also contribute to this queue. So I'm going to choose my colleague, Marcus, and I'm just going to, so that way he can also add to my staff spotlight. Now, my goal is to post once on Monday, once on Wednesday, and twice on Friday to try and round out the week. So what I'm going to do over on the left-hand side is select Monday. And I get to now this line is for a scheduled time for posts to go out. Now on Mondays, I'm thinking people want to hit the work week early. They're getting going. I'm going to go ahead and do an earlier time slot, like 6:30. Maybe I'll do 6:32. Okay, so an early morning staff spotlight post. Now, I'd also like to do one on Wednesday. Now I can go through, I can add one to Tuesday. I can also go down to Wednesday. And here I can, again, type in another time, or I can select the set optimal time for Wednesday. And that's pulling from all of the social on my user dashboard. All right, so 8:15 a.m. is going to be that. Now, next, I'm going to go down to Friday, and I'm going to go ahead and select the optimal time. And I'm going to actually add another line because remember, I wanted 2 slots to go out on Friday. So I'm going to add that little line there. And let's see what the optimal time is. You know, I think I actually want this time to be a little later in the afternoon, maybe 4:30, 4:40 range. All right, that way we have the work week starting with a staff spotlight and having some sprinkled in throughout the week. Okay, so I've now chosen my time slots. And again, you can of course schedule these for Saturday or Sunday as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and save that queue. Now, that means I have 4 spots to send posts. Now, I can decide a few different ways to add posts to that queue. One of the ways to do that is to actually do it through the bulk compose feature. Now, that's going to be something like you guys have seen right here. This is the bulk compose right next to the compose box. But since this is highlighted, I can actually select this bulk message icon right here. And it's going to actually pull it up as queued for that staff spotlight queue, which is really helpful. Now, you're going to notice, unlike the bulk compose feature, if you're just starting, if you're doing it as scheduled or drafts, this one doesn't have a time or a date. And that's because the queue has those preloaded date and time already saved. So now we get to choose a profile. I'm going to go ahead and choose my LinkedIn profile, and I'm going to create messages. So highlight Marcus, and I can add a URL, including like his LinkedIn page or something like that. I can attach an image through the media section right here, both uploading a local file, choosing from the media library, things like that. I have a ton of options right here at my disposal, but I'm not going to select a picture right now. And now I get to go down the line and I can compose in bulk. So remember, I'm looking to highlight my staff. Ooh, added an extra letter in there. And we'll say Heather. The next one, I'll highlight Claire. So now we are going down the line. Let's say I'm happy. I wanted to compose maybe I had 4 slots, so I wanted to compose at least 8 just to kind of throw them in there. And now all I have to do is click import. So again, import messages as queued, import. And it's going to import just like that. Now you'll notice this is what the queued messages look like. Now I do have the option to edit them, but you see that these are going out on Friday. These are those 2 Friday slots because today is Thursday. And then that 3rd message will go out on Monday because that's the Monday time slot. Now, any additional messages that I load today into that staff spotlight queue are going to funnel down through Monday, Wednesday, or through Wednesday, Friday, and then the following Monday, and so on and so forth. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention is that you can also add to a queue directly from the compose box. So if you're not looking to compose in bulk, but you're still looking to add messages to your queue, you can go right in here. I'm going to go ahead and select my Facebook profile, and I'm going to do Happy Monday. Sorry, time to. All right, now you'll notice I have the option here to schedule like normal. And these lines right here are the queue option within the compose box. So what you're going to be able to do is click the queue, and then you're going to be able to decide which of the queues that this message should go to. Now, I'm going to select my Motivational Monday. And now I know that because I've already preset those Monday times, I can just send this to my Motivational Monday queue. And I can just add it to the queue just like that. And now if I go, I'm pulled right back in here. If I go right into my Motivational Monday queue, you'll notice that I have that preset for 7:30 in the morning, and it's already scheduled to go out. Cues are extremely helpful when scheduling content, especially content that is evergreen or content that is day specific. Like Motivational Monday is a really helpful tool because you can compose 50 motivational quotes, throw them into the Motivational Monday, and you can have one or two going out every Monday for the next few weeks without having to pick a day and time every time. Now, what if I'm going to go into my webinar posts? And you're going to see I have quite a few logged in here. You'll notice that I do have them all set for Thursday because that's when we do our deep dive webinars. But you are going to notice that I'm going to go through and I'm noticing that this one, the Thursday webinar, today is all about the queue. Well, that one's set for next week. Since that's not really the best option, since that's what we're covering today, I actually have the option to take this and move it up the queue and move it to today. So now you'll see that I have this moved up, and now I have the ability to say, okay, I want this moved to, let's say, I want it as the second time slot. Now you'll notice that the queue order has been updated and it bumps those other posts down to the following Thursday. Now, if let's say that maybe you're looking to shake up the order, that you have these posts queued, but maybe Marcus is not the one I want to highlight today or on Friday. And I have this option right here to randomly shuffle messages in the queue. So you'll see that it just kind of shakes it up, gives it some new life, which is a really fun feature, especially if you've loaded a ton in there. All right. So now I kind of, just to wrap things up, let's say you're looking at your queued posts, you like what you see. Now, a great way to view the posts that you have already set up is to go to your calendar icon and to select queued. And now you're going to get to select which queue you'd like to look at. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so now I'm going to check out these webinar posts for Thursday. And you'll notice that it pulls up all of the posts that are coming up and it lists them on the day that they're going out. Now, of course, I can grab and move this around, and obviously it just rearranges that order. Again, maintaining that 3 time slots on Thursdays, just like I set up. Awesome. Okay, so just to wanted to cover all of that. That is about all that I wanted to cover. So if Sarah can come on and we can start answering some of your questions.
I'm on mute. Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. Okay. So I see we have two great questions, and I've answered them kind of in the question tab, but I'd like to also just walk through it and show the actual steps on the Sendible platform. So let me just share my screen. And I think you can see it. You can.
Not yet.
Yet. Oh, okay. Okay, it's loading. There you go. Okay, now you can, right?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great stuff. Okay, so just a question from Gaurav. So can queues be assigned to any person in the organization? So yes, you can definitely do that. So just to show you, you will come over to the queued area and then go to the specific queue in question. Click onto the edit tab over here, click onto settings, and over here you can select who you would like to contribute to that particular queue. So that all the team members or admins will come up in the drop down over here, and you can just click save over there. Then the other good question, Sylvia. So can you show the workflow of sending for approval with queues? So yes, you can. So if you are in the queued area over here and you click onto the compose box, And let's just type a message, and let me choose a profile. So over here you can see I'm in the queue area. So as you can see, it says smart queue, copy of queue. So you can choose which queue you want to be in. And over here you can select send approval. And this is where your approvals will all come through and you can send it off for approval. Okay, just close this. Question from Catherine. For optimal time, how does it pull to the time that is optimized? Very good question. So that's based basically on the way your behavior or your posts are pushed through to these social sites. So our system um, figures that out, and that's where they will incorporate the optimal times for you. So let's say a certain time of the day you push through a lot of posts and you get a lot of feedback on it, or a lot of engagement on it. That is how our system will push it through and provide you with those optimal times. Okay, and then from Amy, can you use one queue for multiple platforms for the same organization or client? Another great question, Amy. So if I'm understanding you correctly, yes, you definitely can. So let's say I'm in my queue like I am right now. And what I could do is I could then select who else I'd like to send this particular message to. So there we go. So you can see I can add Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or whichever one. So let's actually just put this in. Oh, but this needs to be reconnected. So let's ignore that one. Let's try LinkedIn. Go use Twitter. Okay, so let me just use these two because the one needs to be reconnected. But to answer your question, yes, you definitely can. So if we add it to the queue, it'll go in, and then of course it'll be right at the bottom, and I've got quite a few posts in here. But essentially what would happen is it'll go right at the back of the queue, and you will see that it will post out to both profiles or any amount of profiles in question. um let's see, Natalie, are there any types of posts that you schedule on the calendar manually instead of using queues? Let's see. Okay, so good question, Natalie. So the way I'm getting your gist is that you basically referring to kind of the differences of queues and scheduling. So let me explain the differences regarding queues and scheduling. So queues are great for evergreen content and grouping posts of a similar theme into campaigns and keeping your content schedule fully curated. So for example, if you schedule a message, it will be sent out the precise time that you schedule it. However, if you use a queue, it'll go out for a specific day. So you can have the ability then to recycle the queue. So it's not date orientated, but day orientated. So they will roll over days. Um, I think I've answered that. If I didn't answer that question properly, Natalie, if that's not what you mean, you can maybe elaborate and then I can answer on that. Thank you.
Natalie, another thing that I would schedule instead of using a queue for is something like a holiday post, because I would want Happy Easter to go out on Sunday at a certain time. So I would want to pick that day and time through the schedule rather than a motivational Monday, which any of those can go out on any Monday.
Okay, I think there's something in the chat area. I think I would use the calendar posts for sale events. Okay, that's great. Yeah, thanks for saying that. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that is a real good idea. Um, hmm, okay, are there any other questions? If not, if there's not any questions coming through, I would just like to mention a top. Oh, there's another one. Okay, let's see. Does the queue have a stop date or does it just keep going? That's a brilliant question, Catherine. Let me just show you. So with that, it doesn't necessarily have a stop date, because if you decide to choose recycle messages and you have it on, it will continue forever. from Monday to Sunday forever until you decide to click off. So let's say you don't have it on recycle messages, then it will only go out for that 1 week from the time that you create it. So let's say I do it on a Monday, it'll go out the whole week up until the Sunday because my recycle messages are off. However, if my recycle messages are on, it'll go on for months. So that one, anything else? Oh, thank you. Okay, you're welcome, Natalie. Oh, and one thing that I just wanted to mention, just sort of as like a top tip. So if you are using an RSS auto poster and you're sending it from the RSS auto poster into the queue, you need to kindly note that if you decide to, let's say, delete that particular feed, the messages won't automatically be deleted that are going into the queue. They will still roll over continuously because the queue will essentially need to be deleted. Um, okay, and I think that is everything then. Right? I didn't miss anything. Okay. Um, does anybody else have any other questions, perhaps? Nope. Okay.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate your help. You guys, well, we are so glad that you joined us. Make sure to join us next week to join my colleague Marcus, and he will be leading that conversation. Well, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Thank you for being here. Have a good
Thank
one.
you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.